Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the template context and following are the topics that we are going to discuss. Firstly, we will understand the need of the template context. After that, we will discuss what this template context mean, and in last, we will learn the different ways to pass the context to the template. So let's begin with the first topic, that is why we need the template context. I hope you all have observed in the last video that the template by default keeps all the sample friendly in a variable called object underscore list. Although this works perfectly, but it is not particularly friendly to templates because we are not sure with whom we are dealing. For example, in the previous video, we have discussed about the extended generic views with the help of crude example, and I think you have observed that when I am printing the list of the users, at that time I pass the list object underscore list variable to the template. So by passing the object underscore list, you don't guess that with whom I am dealing. This object underscore list is a name of a user, name of a book, or name of a hospital, or any other record. So to just know with whom we are dealing, we use the concept of the template context. So let's understand what template context mean. The template context are the ways of passing context into the templates from the class based view, so we know what we are looking for. And you also say that if we don't want to make our template to completely static, we also need the template context at that time. Or in simple words, we also use the template context to make the template dynamically. So now we will discuss the ways to do it. So the first one involves the get underscore context underscore data method. The second involves context underscore object underscore name variable, and the other is by modifying the extra underscore context variable. So let's see how each method work one by one with the help of an example. So firstly, we discuss about the get underscore context underscore data method. So here I already created a project with the name courses and an app inside it with the name publishers. So as we are going to discuss about the get underscore context underscore data method, firstly I tell you about it. We use this method to provide any context variable to our template. So let's see an example. So firstly I open my app, that is publishers. In this app I have a file views.py. I open this file. Here is the example. For this, firstly I import the library which I needed. For this I need the template view. So I import from django.views.generic.base import template view. Next I create the generic view to showing you the get underscore context underscore data method. So firstly I create a subclass with the name publisher view, and here you can see that I extended with the already created class in the generic view, that is template view. Then I use the variable template underscore name and I pass the name of the template, that is index.html. Then I create a function def having the name get underscore context underscore data, and here I pass the first argument as a self, then as a args arguments, and the second one is the keyword arguments. Then I create a variable that is context and I assign its value as a super, and in super function or a method I pass the name of the class which I created. So the name of my class is publisher view, and as a second argument I pass a self. Then by extending this super function I call the get underscore context underscore data function which I created, and I pass arguments and keyword arguments as a parameters to it. After this I call this context variable and I pass a message inside it, and I assign value to it as a Python tutorial, and it return this context. So I conclude that here we are defining the get underscore context underscore data method and provided an implementation that simply gets a context dictionary object from the parent class, and here the parent class is a template view, and then arguments it by passing the message data. Here you can see that I pass the name of the template as index.html file. So we move to the index.html file. So this file is located inside the template folder. So I open the template folder and here I have the file with the name index.html. So here you can see that I start the heading tag and I align it to the center, and here I pass the object which I have created in the curly braces. So here you see that in the curly braces I have passed message, and after that use the paragraph tag and add a paragraph to it, and then I save this file. So after defining the subclass of the template view, we need to map it with the URL in the URLs file. So I open the urls.py file which is located in the app directory. So I open this file and here I create the URL. In order to do that, I need to call the as underscore view method of the template view, which return a callable object that I passed as the second parameter for the path that associated with the URLs to view. So here firstly I import my subclass which I have created, publisher view, and here I assign its path with the as underscore view method. So after this we have to execute our program. So I execute by writing the command python manage.py run server and I hit enter. So here you can see that firstly it prints Python tutorial in the heading, and then it starts a paragraph which I pass in the paragraph tag. So I show you the code again. You can see that this Python tutorial I pass in this message, and then this message is passed in this index.html file. So in simple words you can say that this template context works similarly to the function context. I hope you remember that while dealing with the function view we pass the form as a dictionary. So this is working same as this form context. So with this we have learned about the get underscore context underscore data method. Now we will discuss about the extract underscore context variable. So we use this variable to provide any context data variable to our template. So I will show you with the help of an example. So here I open my code editor again, and you can see that here I create a subclass with the name class publisher view, and I extend this class by passing the template view. Then I override this by calling the template underscore name attribute, and I again pass the index.html file to it. But this time instead of calling the get underscore context underscore data method, I use the extra underscore context variable, and you can see that here I create a dictionary, and in this as a key I pass a message and a value I pass a Python tutorial. So I conclude you that here basically I am redefining the extra underscore context variable and provide an implementation that simply gets an extra dot context dictionary object from the parent class, and in this example the parent class is the template view, and then arguments it by passing the message data. I am using the same urls.py file which I tell you in the previous example, and the same index file which I also explain you in the previous example. Now I again execute my program and show you the output. So you can see that it again prints Python tutorial in the heading, and prints the paragraph as welcome to pythonguides.com, the repository of the best Python online tutorial, and so on. So with this we also learned about the extra dot context variable. Now we will move ahead and learn about the context underscore object underscore name variable. So I will show you with the help of an example. So this time I show you some different example, as I want to tell you that you can also pass the object from the models by using these way. So for this I create an example having a model. For this I open the models.py file and here I create a model. The name of my model class is a publisher model, and here I take a name and I take this as a character field and set its maximum length to 100. Then I take a address field as a character field also again and maximum length to 300, and the last field is a city and I also take it as a character field with maximum length 30, and then I return the name as an object. So after that I execute the two commands, that is python manage.py make migrations and python manage.py migrate for creating the database, and I add the data to this model by using the admin interface. So I already added some data, so I move to the views.py file where I create the context underscore object name variable for showing you the example. So I show you that firstly I import the list view as I need it, and then I also import the models as I am going to create a view using the model. So here I create a view for the context underscore object underscore name variable. So firstly I create a class publisher view, then I extend it with the list view. After that I override it with passing a module attribute and I pass a module name to it, that is the publisher module. Then I pass the name of the template underscore name attribute to it and I set its file to the home.html this time. And after that I override it with the context underscore object underscore name variable as I want to provide context data to our template. And this time I create this object as a publishers underscore object. So I conclude this. Here I define the context underscore object underscore name variable and provide the implementation that simply does the same thing that the object underscore list variable does. In this example, our parent class is a list view and the name of the context variable is the publishers underscore object. After defining this subclass of the template, so after defining the subclass of this list view, we need to define the URL. So I open the urls.py file. So after urls file, I show you the home.html file. This time I pass the heading as a all publisher name, and after that I start a for loop which prints the name of the publishers. So as here I pass the publishers dot name in the list. So here you can see that in the for loop I pass the publishers underscore object variable instead of the object underscore list variable. So now I execute this program and show you that this works same as a object underscore list variable. So here you can see that it shows the output as a heading all publisher name and it shows the name of the publisher in the list. I already told you that I enter the data in the model using the admin interface. So with this we have learned about the template context, and in the next video we will learn subsets of object.